Hello and welcome to luxurytolast.com, and today I want to talk about one of my all-time favorite Rolex pieces, which is the Rolex Submariner. Now, the Rolex Submariner would probably have to be one of the most popular Rolex sports models, if not the most popular Rolex model in the entire range. The Submariner is famous for its placement in the first James Bond movie, and it's a watch which is it has a long history with Rolex, and this is because Rolex for many years emphasized the waterproof capabilities of its range, hence the name Oyster Case. And the Submariner was a special model which could even go deeper. The Submariner then spawned off the Sea Dweller, and the rest, as we know, is history. The Submariner itself there, I've been very fortunate in my collecting to have owned quite a few Submariners. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have any Submariners in my collection, but the one of the older Submariners I owned was a 5508, which is the no-date sub from the late 50s. And I remember buying it and selling it and making a couple $1,000 and thinking, gee, this is fantastic. And if only I had the watch today, that's all I can say, because they're very valuable indeed. One of my favourite Submariners was the 5513. I've owned a couple of those, and I've also owned the 5512, which is the certified chronometer version of the 5513. And again, they're very collectible today. I've enjoyed the 5513. I enjoyed the way that the dial doesn't have the complexity of the date. It has the smooth glass, and it's just a gorgeous piece. I myself am more of a modern collector, and that's probably been a mistake because I've had some sensational plastic pieces. I remember years ago buying a 1680 sub, a red sub, with box and papers for about $2,500. I remember selling it for about $4,500-5,000, thinking, geez, I've done very well. Again, if only I had that piece today. Very collectible, very rare piece, and it's increased in value dramatically. But I mean, look, that's not to say that I live in constant regret there. At the time, that piece there, that was, I sold it for a good price at the time, and it's appreciated. I mean, it's hard to pick these things. It's hard to predict the future. I mean, I've got a beautiful Patek Philippe white gold Calatrava, which is it's a holy grail watch to most people, and especially to myself. And that's how watch collecting goes. You have some wins, you have some losses there. The no-date Submariner in the Sapphire version, that's the 14060, is one that I've owned a couple times, and I must say I think that represents excellent buying on the second-hand market. The Sapphire Crystal no-date sub, beautiful watch. It's again, I think it looks slightly nicer without the date on the dial, and the thing that always ties me to the no-date version of the sub is that my first Rolex was a 1016 Explorer 1, and the no-date Submariner has the same synergies with the clarity of the dial, and that's one of the most gorgeous things about the Explorer 1 is just its simplicity, and the no-date sub has those same characteristics. I've also owned a few date subs, and they've always been great pieces to own. They're beautiful. I've had a few two-tone versions, blue and black dials, and probably the most magnificent sub that I've ever had the privilege of wearing was a yellow gold, solid gold version of the Submariner. And that's a piece which I really I thought long and hard about selling my Patek white gold and using that money for a yellow gold Submariner. And that's one of the things in being a watch collector, is that you have a piece which is your holy grail piece, which you think you'll never part with, and then you constantly test yourself by thinking, wow, if I got rid of this, I could afford this other magnificent piece. And that is how the collecting world goes. And that's one of the dilemmas. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's just how collecting the bug bites, and you ask yourself these hypothetical questions. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please come to my free website, www.luxurytolast.com. More watch product reviews, and also heaps of other information, all free of charge. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks very much.